Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. This is Annie Jensen. I'm a project manager in the City Manager's Office. I would like to present the updated schedule for weaning off of Measure O. This is an item that we present to the committee every April. Its purpose is to update the committee and the public on how the city is preparing to continue funding vital, ongoing projects that are currently funded by Measure O after the sales tax measure comes to a close and Measure O funds are no longer available. We call this transition weaning. Our recommendation is that the committee receive and file this report. In 2020, staff presented the idea of weaning to both the Measure O Citizen Oversight Committee and the City Council. Measure O is due to terminate in 2029, meaning that in 2029, all ongoing programs will have to be moved to another funding source. Rather than process this big change all at once in 2029, the city instead proposed a weaning schedule where slowly over the course of several years, we can begin transitioning ongoing programs to either the general fund or another fund source besides Measure O. Weaning has a second purpose as well. Because the city's debt payment extends beyond the sales tax sunset date for the Fire Station 8 lease project, the city needed to build up a fund balance before the sunset date in 2029 to continue payments until the debt is fully paid off. Between 2020 and 2022, the Measure O committee reviewed and ultimately adopted a weaning schedule. The weaning schedule was put into action in fiscal year 22-23 when Fire Station 8 operations, a project totaling $4.75 million and including 21 full-time equivalent positions, moved from Measure O into the general fund. The following year, in fiscal year 23-24, two more projects were moved from Measure O to the general fund. They were the Enhanced Community Police Project, totaling $4.06 million and including 16 full-time positions, and the Homeless Program, which totaled $1.1 million. After these transitions, there are now 21 ongoing projects, not including debt service, that must be moved from Measure O to the general fund. This staff report introduces 4 updates to the previously adopted weaning schedule. Let's review the updates in detail. The first update is program costs. When the weaning schedule was first adopted in fiscal year 21-22, the project costs were lower. As operating costs, primarily personnel costs, have increased since then, the updated weaning schedule includes the current adopted higher budget amounts. The second update is an administrative update to a library project. The city used to have one project called Various Library Programs scheduled for weaning in 24-25. It was actually made up of 2 different projects. Staff has split up the 2 projects to reflect them in more detail and also removed a 0.5 full-time equivalent position, which actually belongs to a third project. The project the 0.5 FTE belonged to is actually the Homework Center at Main Library project. This project, along with the 4 other projects shown under number 3, were inadvertently not listed on the original weaning schedule. The third update is to add these 5 projects to the weaning schedule in fiscal year 28-29. The fourth change is to remove the bond debt project shown in number 4. Originally, this project was listed on the weaning schedule. However, staff's intent is to pay for all of the debt for this project off in fiscal year 24-25, meaning that it does not need to move to the general fund. After the fiscal year 24-25 weaning process is complete, moving the 3 programs shown in yellow on this chart out of Measure O and into the general fund, the city will have moved to the general fund over $10 million in ongoing projects, leaving less than $5 million in ongoing projects to move to the general fund in the future, not including Measure O debt. This concludes staff's presentation. Thank you for your time. It will be at the April 25th meeting and will be available to discuss the weaning process further and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you. Goodbye.